Hey, welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben, and this is my third content I'm releasing today. Got lots of stuff to talk about. Today, we're talking about Violet Evergarden, the feature film that just dropped on Netflix. It's an original anime movie, and it continues the story of Violet Evergarden. So Violet Evergarden tutors a young lady at a private women's academy, but still grieves for the only person who ever brought her happiness. This anime series, obviously based off a manga, has I would say a die-hard fan base, and it's one of those anime that you skip past on the Netflix, scrolling through and be like, yeah, I love anime, but it doesn't quite look up my street. But when you click on it, you're going to be immersed in a beautiful, dramatic world. And I would say that you could watch this film if you haven't seen the series, but the series does give you really a lot of backstory to what has happened with the Violet Evergarden character. And so if you can, watch the series first, but don't worry if you just want to watch this film. This film is basically two halves. The first half is Violet tutoring this almost kind of orphan who has to become a lady, a debutante. And so you see her for 3 months. Violet leaves her friends, her job at the postal service, and now is at this elite college that is just for women who must be trained in certain ways, like etiquette, the way to speak, how to be a lady. It's set in the height of the industrial stage, so we're just getting electricity rolled out properly. It's in France. The Eiffel Tower is busy being built. But the first half does feel like one of the Twilight films, the one where she's depressed the whole time. So the main character is depressed, and rightly so. She has been stripped away, she's been taken away from the streets, but she didn't mind the streets because she had an adopted sister, a youngling, a street orphan that she took on her own, and they had that little kind of family life. And so the first half of the film flickers back and forth between her memories of that time to where she's had to be now. So it's quite sad, and so you see them form this relationship. The second half is where the film gets really interesting. The story then heightens up and you're emotionally engaged because you have the first half of the story to rely on. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, oh, this is quite boring, it's quite slow, why are they taking so much time on this bit? It's because they really want to amp up that story, really want something to back it. So when you get into the emotional storylines and what's happening further on, when those characters are already developed, you feel for the characters. And I have to say, by the end of the story, I was very invested into the new characters of this verse, and I'm really happy where it ended up. This is not the first Violet Evergarden feature film. The last story we had where Violet was recruited again was a 43-minute, and that's also on Netflix. But do watch the series first, then watch that short film, then watch this if you can. Although, like I said, I think you'll be fine. The animation itself is beautiful. I think it's done really well. I love the kind of the slow-mos and the flicker of the hair, the attention to detail. The music is one of the best things about this series. It's the classical, but it really helps drive the story. It isn't an action series, particularly this movie. It's all about character development, all about love. Love is the story behind, the driving force behind this anime film. Basically, the theme is love can conquer all. So no matter what, love can get there. And it's also like trial by love, I guess. So the one of the main characters, the protagonist, I'm trying not to do spoilers, where it goes towards the end is quite touching, but it takes a while to get there. So you're so invested in the characters. It's slow moving, but I feel like you get rewarded. It's a great uplifting story, sad at times, but when you get there towards the end, I'm like, yeah, okay, that made me feel pretty good. That's a pretty good anime film. So if you need something that's uplifting, that's great story, it's not violent, it fits well into the world of Violet Evergarden. That was my only concern, whether it still worked. And I thought maybe it was just going to be Violet in this college and we wouldn't see any of the other characters, but thankfully you do. And so it fits really well. I'm looking forward to maybe if they might do any more. It feels like they're continually to building this Violet Evergarden story. It's a very interesting, unique story. I love the character of Violet. Let me know in the comments below whether you heard about this. I think it's a Netflix original anime because they bought the rights for it here. but elsewhere it has been showcased, and it's been out, I think, since 2019, around the world. So you may have seen it already, but it's now doing the rounds, I guess, on Netflix. So let me know whether you enjoyed this. Is it one of your favorite anime? Are you a major fan? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching this anime review. But most of all, until next time, remember, live long and choose life.